I'm John Peters. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Deltona. Paved roads typically have a life of 20 to 40 years, depending on traffic, depending on drainage. We do annual paving contracts. So on October 1, we'll have a budget of X to pave roads. We put out a request for proposals, or we piggyback on somebody else's contract. We put them all together, and we usually do them all at one time. If it takes a month and a half to pave all the roads, the other 10.5 months out of the year, it doesn't look like we're doing anything, but we got a lot of paving done in a very short period of time. Repaving is based on a rating system. The system looks at the condition of the road. If you see like a lot of alligatoring, which looks kind of like Gailey Road, that will get a certain point level. If you see a lot of depression, that'll get a certain point level, as opposed to if you got a perfectly smooth, clean road. And that's the two extremes. Based on those ratings, we look at which roads are most qualified to be paved. And we basically start from the worst, and we go down the list until we run out of money. Overall, we have done a pretty good job with our pavement management process. Fortunately, people sometimes forget that some of the roads in the city are county roads, and many of the complaints that we get are actually on the county roads as opposed to the city roads. Interesting tidbit is a lot of times roads that are going bad, it's not that the pavement itself is going bad, it is poor drainage. If you have a roadside swell that's very shallow and water tends to stand in there, ultimately that water is going to get into the base of the road, and then we end up with what we call base failure. And once the base fails, the pavement will just fall apart. And in situations like that, you basically have to tear up the whole road, rebuild the base, fix the drainage, and then put the pavement back. We have one particular street we will be doing that with here pretty soon. Typically, road paving is based on the thickness, based on whether we mill the road and put new pavement down. If you have curb and gutter on each side, you typically want to mill it so that the pavement doesn't end up being so high on the curb. But for the most part, it's a price per ton. A ton will cover 1.5 inches or an inch over a certain square footage. So that's what really drives the majority of the cost, is the price per ton. That can fluctuate with the price of petroleum. When you see gas prices going down, it usually means we're getting good pricing for paving. When you see gas prices go through the roof, it means we're paying a lot of money for paving. And if I have $1 million and gas prices are lower, I'm gonna get more roads paved. If I have $1 million and the gas prices are a lot higher, I'm gonna get fewer roads paved. I think the most important thing to realize is that we're at the mercy of the price of oil. We do have a dependable scientific process of rating which roads need to be done. So if your road is not getting paved in a given year, I can guarantee you there was a whole list of roads that were in worse shape. And the other thing is, just because a road may have some cracks in it does not mean it's a bad road. If you lived up north, that would be a problem because the water gets down in the cracks and it freezes and you get potholes. Here in Florida, it's not as big an issue. We try to put elastomeric material in there to keep the water from penetrating. And sometimes when we put that elastomeric material, people think it looks ugly, but it's still sound pavement management practice.